Are you a WWE fan? Do you have a favorite between The Rock and Mick Foley? Do you know that both champions have been in a feud? Would you like to know some details about this feud? Have you also wondered if there are some things fans forgot about their WWE rivalry? Would you like to know all the answers to these questions? Then watch this video to the end as we'll discuss these in detail. First up, what are some details about the feud you need to know? Dwayne, The Rock, was fed up with their team, Sock and Connection, and wanted to call it quits. But Foley wanted to keep going, so he insisted on another tag team championship match for the former. Foley gave Rock a copy of his book just before their game, but it was later discovered in the trash. Foley then left Rock during their match, effectively disbanding their team. The Rock and Mick Foley were seen in several matches with intriguing stipulations. Their games were brutal, but also some of the best of the Attitude Era. Mick Foley and The Rock had a rivalry for the ages, and WWE made sure to book memorable moments. The feud between Mick Foley and The Rock was instrumental in the success of the Attitude Era. The other names joining those two as the top names at the time were Steve Austin, Triple H, and The Undertaker. However, Rock and Foley had more different chemistry than any other combination of those five names. WWE cast them in both beloved tag team acts and hotly contested rivalries. Foley and Rock knew how to play off each other and had the unselfish attitude that top stars require. The feud deserves a lot of credit for generating a lot of money for WWE. A legendary rivalry like that has withstood the test of time. The notes and memories about Rock versus Foley in this video will shed more light on their feud. Coming right up, how did both win their first WWE championship? A significant contributor to the success of the Attitude Era was the rivalry between Mick Foley and The Rock. The other three names joining those two as the top names at the moment were Steve Austin, Triple H, and The Undertaker. The connection between Rock and Foley, though, was unlike any other pairing of those five names. WWE inserted them into enduring tag team performances as well as bitter rivalries. Rock and Foley had the kind of selfless attitude that great stars need in order to play off one another. The feud deserves a lot of praise for helping WWE generate enormous amounts of business. Such a storied rivalry still endures in our times. The notes and recollections of Rock versus Foley that follow will shed more light on their conflict. Both men won their first WWE championships against one another. The WWE Championship dictated the feud between Mick Foley and The Rock. In career-defining moments, both wrestlers won their first world titles against each other. Rock defeated Mankind at the end of a tournament to become the new WWE Champion at Survivor Series 1998. Foley won his first title a few months later when he dethroned Rock on an episode of Raw. Steve Austin dominated the top spot for the majority of 1998 and 1999, but his absence from the title scene allowed both stars to reach the summit. Coming up next, who was responsible for the first hardcore title change? The Rock was responsible for the first hardcore title change. Vince McMahon awarded Mankind the Hardcore Championship as a cheap manipulation tool to make him the first person to hold a new belt. However, Vince's betrayal of Mankind to help Rock caused things to fall apart for Mick Foley. Mankind lost the Hardcore Championship to Big Boss Man after Rock caused some interference in the match and ended up getting away with it due to the no DQ rules. According to a funny story on JBL and Gerard Briscoe's podcast, Boss Man didn't even want the belt after learning he'd have hardcore matches weekly. So, how many times did they exchange WWE championships? They exchanged the WWE Championship 4 times in 3 months. The Rock and Mick Foley's program in late 1998 and early 1999 resulted in the WWE Championship being exchanged more than ever before. WWE booked 4 title changes in 3 months involving only these two wrestlers. The victory of Foley over Rock set in motion a chain of events that resulted in both men playing hot potato with the title in a short period. WWE wanted the unpredictability of title changes happening when fans least expect it, but it was a little too much. Next, did they ever fight as friends? Triple H actually forced the two to fight when friends. The Rock and Sock connection demonstrated that even bitter rivals could become fantastic tag partners. When Triple H married Stephanie McMahon to form the McMahon-Helmsley regime, Mick Foley and The Rock became megastars. Triple H also booked a match between Foley and Rock, hoping to reignite their feud by having the loser fired via a pink slip in a pole match. Instead, Rock successfully got Foley fired, but he also staged a boycott the following week until Foley was rehired. Furthermore, has there ever been a team-up between Foley versus Triple H? At WrestleMania 2000, Mick Foley teamed up with Triple H to face Rock. Triple H, The Rock, and Mick Foley's layered storytelling made their pasts work in various stories. WrestleMania 2000 was Foley's final match against either man, as he ended his full-time in-ring career that night. After Big Show was eliminated first, leaving the other 3 in the match, a shocking moment occurred. Foley joined forces with Triple H to try to stop Rock so they could face off at the end. Rock survived after Foley was eliminated, but Triple H took the victory. Next, what was one of the first noteworthy matches between The Rock and Mick Foley before the feud? Before they began a personal feud, The Rock and Mick Foley had one of their first notable matches. Inside a steel cage, Rock, Mankind, and Ken Shamrock competed in a triple threat catch match at In Your House Breakdown. All three wrestlers delivered an underappreciated classic that year, but the bigger story was the fans cheering for Rock while he was still a heel. The sight of Rock applauding for his support of Foley was enough to turn his face at the end of the Nation of Domination's run. Coming up next, why did DX unite with Mick Foley? To even the odds, DX teamed up with Mick Foley. The Rock's involvement with Vince and Shane McMahon gave him much support from the corporation, allowing him to cheat against Mick Foley frequently. Mankind challenged Rock multiple times after Steve Austin was removed from the title picture until WrestleMania 15. The first defeats resulted from the odds stacked against Foley, thanks to Rock's use of his power. However, D-Generation X's disagreements with the corporation led to them banding together with Mankind to fight the corporation. As a result, DX members will be visible in the background of any photos of Foley's first title win. So, what are some details about the I Quit match? The I Quit match ended in a tie. The Rock and Mankind's famous I Quit match resulted in the controversial spot of Mick Foley taking a dozen unprotected chair shots to the head. Many fans have forgotten this was an I Quit match because of the ending. Most fans recognized Foley's shouting "I quit" in a doctored clip after being knocked out. To protect both wrestlers, WWE went with the cheap finish of Rock cheating. In that scenario, a face like Foley quitting would not happen, but it did allow them to keep Rock. Coming right up, what rating did their Super Bowl halftime heat match receive? The Super Bowl halftime heat match received an excellent rating. WWE continues to have the highest non-sport television ratings most weeks. However, the television audience used to be significantly larger. Mick Foley and The Rock demonstrated this during their halftime heat match during the Super Bowl halftime show. As one of the most watched matches in wrestling history, this special-themed Sunday night special drew 11 million viewers. Because it wasn't a traditional show, the ratings were skewed in a different direction, but everything about it worked to prove that Super Bowl viewers wanted to see Foley and Rock at halftime. Lastly, when did they have their first big double turn? They had their first big double turn after Steve Austin and Bret Hart. A double turn can only be practical if fans change their minds about both talents as faces and heels. WrestleMania 13's Bret Hart vs. Steve Austin match is still regarded as the pinnacle of this storytelling device. However, the following best example, and the first to occur after that, was The Rock and Mick Foley at Survivor Series 1998. With a practical double turn, Vince McMahon helped Rock win the WWE Championship while screwing Foley, causing fans to change their tune on both completely. And here you have it. That's all you need to hear about The Rock vs. Mick Foley's feud and 10 things fans forgot about their WWE rivalry. I hope you liked this video. Consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel if you did. Please turn on your notifications so you can experience all the fun stuff we inform our viewers. Finally, if you have any more related news about the topic we missed, let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching.
Vince has got The Rock down. No way, The Rock is out. Rock grab. Oh, look, the Brahma Bull, and there you see The Rock. The Rock has been selected #1